Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This is probably the first vlog I've done in a long time. I have just been so busy and I haven't even considered picking up the camera. But I thought it's coming up to Christmas and people tend to do a vlogmas. Now, like, I'm not saying I'm doing vlogmas because while I probably could film most days, to be honest, what I do mostly day to day these days is quite boring. I sit on the computer quite a lot because I'm doing a lot of freelance work and a lot of pattern work, and it's mostly computer, a lot of admin, that sort of thing. I actually really want to get back into more sewing, which is part of the reason that I thought maybe I can start filming for YouTube again. Maybe that will give me a bit more encouragement to start sewing some more for myself. Just generally, editing takes me forever. Like, I don't know how people edit their videos in a day. I don't know how people I just don't understand. I don't understand. I cannot do it. I am so slow at editing, but I will do my best. You probably saw that I did a bit of packing up of some orders first thing this morning. So today is Wednesday, mostly packing up orders for fabrics for my Black Friday sale. That is what I've been doing today. So the fabrics have been packed. I'm going to go and post them in a second. So I won't take you with me to the post office, but I will go down there in a second. That's done. When I come back from the post office, my goal is I'm working on a new fleece pattern. So here is, I'll pop on screen what I'm working on, kind of some inspo, that sort of thing. But essentially I am working on a fleece. I want to do a half zip fleece and I want to do a full zip fleece. Now, I'm literally doing this pattern because I wear my zip up fleece all the time. I wear it to the gym, I wear it to work, I wear it day to day in autumn, winter. So it only makes sense that I have my own pattern for it. So that is what I'm doing. Now, I went down to Abercan in Manchester yesterday and I got this fleece as my sample. Quite brightly coloured, it smells glorious because I washed it last night. But it's this fleece. Now, this is a polyester fleece and it's literally just going to be for my sampling. Then I have this absolutely gorgeous organic cotton, 100% organic cotton fleece, and it's a little bit more fine. It's not kind of your like teddy fleece. It's like a polar fleece, but a little bit thicker, I'd say. It's not super thin, so it's really lovely. So I have that one, and I'm thinking of doing, so here is the fleece. It's like this taupe color, and I'm thinking of doing a contrast brown zip down the front, and contrast brown binding on some of the edges. And then I also have that same taupe fleece in a like off-white color, and I think I'm going to do the full zip up version in that. I also have a red burgundy fleece that I got last year that is organic cotton, and that one's going to be made into something too, but I don't know what yet. Once I come back from the post office, I'm going to crack on with doing that. I'm going to tape the pattern together, start cutting it out. It could go horribly wrong. This is my first sample, so I'll take you along and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I have cut out all the pieces. I've also had some lunch and now it's already 2 o'clock. I don't know where the day has gone, but now I'm going to cut out the pattern in the fleece to make the sample, and then if I can, I want to sew up just the side seams and the shoulders. Well, side seams, shoulders and sleeves, because then that will give me enough to just test the basic fit before I put the collar on. I think looking at my pattern pieces, it looks like it might be a little bit long, but I was expecting that. I wanted it to be longer so that when I put a zip in, I can cut it down to size, because you get standard size zips, don't you? And when I release a pattern for this, one of the things I want to consider is the zip length. So is it a zip length that's like a standard length that people can have access to, or is it one that people are going to have to shorten? Because what I don't want to happen is people have to shorten the zip, because beginners will find that difficult to do. It's a bit of a faff. I don't like doing it myself anyway. So I'm going to see if I can find the right size zip and kind of make the length of the fleece based off that. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut a sample out. It should be a really quick sew as well. I'm not going to put pockets in this one. I haven't put any, I put patch pockets on the design, but I don't think for the sample I'll bother. I'll just kind of place them on and see what it looks like. So let's get cutting. My pins don't work in this fleece fabric. The new pins I bought aren't great, so I'm just going to have to weigh it down with random things I find. Okay, good morning. It's actually the next day now and I am not feeling too well, actually. I think I might have a bit of a virus on the way. But anyway, I'm here. We're doing what we can. So overall fit-wise, so I've gone for a drop shoulder and I was going to do just a standard shoulder. But I do quite like the drop shoulder. And I made it up and then I reduced it just slightly at the seams here because it was a little bit too oversized. So overall, happy with it. It's a little bit long, so I need a shorter zip, and I'm thinking it needs to finish kind of there. I think that looks better, that sort of length. And the other thing is, the collar is really wide and low, especially at the back. I mean, it is kind of hard to see in this fabric. It kind of needs to come in to where my t-shirt is, and same at the back in order to put the collar on properly. But in terms of just general fit in the body, I'm happy with that. I don't want it to be too oversized and I don't want it to be too slim fit. I kind of want to go somewhere in between. So I can't really do much with this toile because of this neckline. So I'm going to make some adjustments to this neckline based on what I can see here myself. I'll measure where my t-shirt is, add that on, and then I'll work out the length and work out what a standardized zip is for this sort of length. In fact, I'll pin that there so I know that that's kind of where I want it to finish. And measure that on the pattern. So it'll look like this, and then obviously I'll add all the details, the collar, those sorts of things on my next sample. So I'm gonna make those adjustments, and then I think I've got enough left to do maybe one more sample without the sleeves just to test the collar out. I'll take the zip out of this one and reuse it, and then this fabric I will give to my friend because she's making cat hoodies at the minute, so I can give this to her. 3.5 at the shoulder. Okay, and then taper it out. Probably don't need to raise that then. I have measured the front of Fleece. Worked out I need to reduce the final length by 6.5 centimeters, but that's going to include my seam allowance. So I need to take 4.5 centimeters off the pattern because I'm going to allow 2 centimeters hem for turning it up. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to take 4.5 centimeters off the hem to make the length that I want. So I've re-measured that, and that comes out at 55 centimeters along the whole total centre front from neck to the bottom. And I've got 1 centimeter seam allowance at the neckline for if I attach a collar, or basically I want it to have this kind of look, but a bit bigger and rounded. That's besides the point. The point is 55 centimeters is the front, and I've got 1 centimeter at the top, and then I've got 2 centimeters that I'm allowing for the hem. So that leaves me at 52 centimeters down the front. And I've just looked online, and so what I tend to do with zips is I just Google 52 centimeters open zip, and if I get a lot of results from kind of common places that I would normally shop at, then that tells me that it's a common measurement for a zip. Whereas if I'd have put in 51 centimeters, it might not be as common, and then I might have had to round the length of it up a little bit to allow for a zip that's easy to find. I think it's going to be 52 centimeters zipper. So that's the full length version, and then what I'll do is when it comes to sampling a half zip version is I'll put it on the body and then I'll measure where I want it to finish, and then I will account for the zip and everything in the same way. So that's the plan. I'll do that, and then I will probably do a really quick mock-up again just to see where we're at. And then test a few other things out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. When I'm pattern cutting, one thing that I always do is write all my notes on the pattern paper that I've been working on and then cut it off, and then I have a little checklist of things that I've adjusted to the pattern. So what I will do is make these adjustments onto the computer, and then I'll make a note on this pattern just to say that the adjustments have been made on here. Also testing out this kind of lighting, what things look like in this view here, because I'm going to start filming my pattern course soon. If you don't know about that, I am going to be making a full pattern course, and I am talking every bit of knowledge that I can possibly think of I will be putting into that course. I've actually drafted the whole course out and planned what's going to be in each module, and then I'm going to kind of block film parts of it, and then I'm going to do a grading and developing patterns for sale module completely separate. But yeah, it's really exciting. So I'm going to be releasing a full course option so you can buy the whole thing, and then I'm also going to do individual modules so you can kind of just learn as you go, pick out certain modules if there's certain things you want to learn, and you don't have to pay for a full course then. Anyway, I am completely going off on a tangent here. Just wanted to drop in about the pattern course coming at some point next year. I do have a date, but I'm not going to say the date because if I don't hit that date, I don't want you to all be disappointed. But yeah, anyway, I am completely just going off on a tangent here. I just wanted to drop that in there. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so sample 2, and I'm quite happy with this one. See how the neck is quite tight, but that's still got a centimetre seam allowance on it for the collar. So that might be okay, but you can see the back neck is higher now as well. That feels like it should be better, but I won't know until I put a collar on. So there's that. This is now the overall fit of the fleece. So there's a little bit of room, there's a little bit of ease. There's my waist, there it is. Little bit of ease, which is perfect for if you're wearing something underneath, because with the fleece, obviously you're wearing it in colder weather, so you probably are wearing something underneath. So I've got a bit of room, but not tons of room. I don't want it to be like super, super boxy, and I don't want it to be a fitted one either. So I'm quite happy overall with the fit. The zip is too long, but this is just the sample. So this will have an extra 2 centimeters taken off the bottom. So it will be that length when it's finished, which is perfect because that's kind of where my like hip dips are. So that's normally where I would have it to come to. Everything about it now I'm happy with. I think I just about have enough left of this fabric to make a collar, which to be honest, it doesn't matter too much because the zip is too long anyway. I'd have to get a new one. I don't think I'll probably wear this one, so I'll probably give it to my friend to cut up. But in terms of sample, I do want to sample the collar on this one so that I can see how it would look if I make it in my final fabric. Because there's a bit of inspo that I'll share here on screen now of like some edge detail on a really plain fabric. So I'm thinking on my fleece, I could blanket stitch the edge, but I'm going to quickly draft the collar and then put it on and see what it looks like and then go from there. So I'm going to do that now and I'll show you what the collar looks like when it's on. Okay, so here is the collar. I haven't finished it. I've just sewn it straight on and tucked these in. That is ideally where it would sit. Now it is like right up against the neck, which I actually don't mind because to be honest, I wouldn't wear it done up all the way. But if I did have it done up all the way, I would want it to be at a nice point on the neck. So I'm actually okay with that. Sort of like a jacket fleece. And then I will have the big patch pocket here as well, which I need to test out the size of. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to neaten this edge and just cut the zip off and just make sure that when I cut it back and neaten it, that that's okay. And then I think I'll be pretty happy once I've tested the pockets in terms of sizing and everything. So this could be then graded because then this as a half zip will I'd still be able to get it off. So as a half zip, it's big enough that I could still get it on and off by just putting it straight over my head, which is what I want. The other thing I did want to try is the funnel neck, but I'm going to try the funnel neck on the half zip. So I need to adjust the pattern for the half zip now. So what I will do is I'll pop this back on. So I'll pop a pin like so, just where I want the half zip to start. Yeah, I think that'll look nice because then it'll be like half, you can go 2 different colours. Just where I want the half zip to start, and then I'll apply that to the pattern. So I'm going to make all the adjustments to the pattern, go get myself some lunch, finish this neckline to make sure that the binding's not too chunky. I think it'll be okay. Order some zips, and then also have a look about needles actually, because I need something for I need to write this down. So the rest of today is mostly going to involve me pretty much just being sat on the computer, grading after I've made all the adjustments and just ordering bits and pieces that I need. And then I'll probably move on to some freelance work in the afternoon when I've got a bit more time left over once I've done the bits I need to do. Yeah, so let's get cracking. Okay, first of all, this is not super neat because I just put it on really quick. And second of all, I wouldn't use a satin binding. But this is what I am thinking it will look like on the inside. So it will neaten the edge of the zipper here, and it will neaten the edge the whole way along. And then on the right side, you won't see anything. It will just kind of give this stitch line here, which actually I think finishes it quite nicely. So that is how I think I will finish the neckline. So here it is on the mannequin now, and I'm just testing out this patch pocket for size, and I think that sort of balance is right. There'll be one on either side. I think it needs to go a little bit lower, but in terms of size, I think that's okay. Hand-wise, fits into it fine. I could probably even narrow it a little bit, but I don't want it to be too narrow. So I think that works quite well. This is how I test these things out. I just put them on. If they're just surface things, I just put them on and see, and then I'll put it on myself and see, and then I'll apply that to the pattern. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking. I think one of those zips that's got the circle hardware on it would look really nice there. Even one that zips up at the top and the bottom could be really nice. So that is the end of today's vlog. I'm going to try and film when I do the fleece, the final one, like I said, and I will try and get round to filming more short vlogs like this whenever I can. I've got some exciting things coming up. I've got my course next year. I've got the Stitch Festival. I've got new patterns being released and all that sort of stuff. The Stitch Festival is going to be a fun one. That's the first year I've ever actually exhibited, so I will be sure to take you along with that. But yeah, I'll do my best to take you along wherever I can. My arm is really hurting now holding this camera up, so I'm going to go, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.